make your case?
Well, I think there's a couple things going on here. Number one, the number of stocks that are cutting dividends has appeared to peak, and that usually peaks around the end of the recession, which most economists think are happening. But also, when you get into this part of the cycle, once you get 7-8 months into a bull market, that's when you normally get to a phase where the dividend-paying stocks start to outperform again, whereas the beginning phases is really about high beta names and mean reversion. And then what happened before during the bear market is that a lot of the dividend paying stocks, because there's so much concern about dividend cuts, they underperform then. So you combine that all together and you have dividend payers that are the most oversold versus non-payers than they have been in the last decade. So it's a really good combination of where we are in the economic cycle, the stock market cycle, and then a technical mean reversion play as well.
Is it just almost a coincidence, Ed, because the sectors that have been hit really hard in the pandemic tend to be the more dividend-paying sectors? In other words, thinking about, the financials and energy and things like that. Is it so much that it's because of the dividend, or is it just happenstance? And what does that tell us, again, about if they're poised to do well further on in the rebound? Is that just because these are names that would be well geared toward the reopening?
Yeah, so whenever you're looking at historical cycles, you definitely need to look at what it means for this cycle. And some of those sectors that you alluded to certainly would benefit from a reopening. And that's probably over the next several months, the bigger question in terms of dividend payers outperforming as a group versus non-payers if you get the reopening and you get those oversold sectors doing well. But once you move past that, that's when I think maybe the transition should be to some of the more historically traditional dividend sectors like consumer staples or maybe even utilities as the bull market matures.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.